Last time we left off speaking about avoda me'ava, avoda me'ira, and the Maral taught us that the essence of serving Hashem, the essence of service is me'ava, shelo al manat lekabel pras. It's motivated by a love of Hashem, a recognition of His greatness, a desire to connect to that greatness through service. This service is outwardly directed. It's focused on the one being served, shelo al manat lekabel pras. But al manat lekabel pras, serving in order to get reward, that's inwardly focused. It's ultimately for me. Even if it appears that I'm giving to you, that I'm serving you, it really is motivated by my needs and my wants. While that's perfectly acceptable, says the Maharal, when serving another person, it's not the ideal when serving Hashem. Al manat lekabel pras really defines avoda me'ira, the lower level yira that the Ramchal speaks about, where we have yirat ha'onesh, and even where we do it in order to get the reward, avat haschar. All of that is really yira because it's inwardly directed. And in developing our commitment to serve Hashem, as in all spiritual growth, we really have to start at the lower level and then work step by step up to a higher level. So the basic level is yirat ha'onesh, fear of punishment, and the realization that there are negative consequences to me when I behave in certain ways, that I will be negatively affected by my actions. So that is me'ira, and that's inwardly directed. It's about me. I serve Hashem because I know that Hashem holds the key to all of the things that I want, and that service is because of yirat ha'onesh, because of me, my needs, my desires, to avoid personal negative consequences. But that's the foundation of yira, inwardly directed, legitimate fear. Now, fear is generated when a person feels that their very existence is in question. When a neighbor contracts a very serious illness, we empathize with him, but it doesn't necessarily cause me to be afraid unless I start realizing or thinking or projecting that it could also happen to me. So the fear comes from my sense of the fragility, the instability of my own personal existence. When a major catastrophe happens, when there's a volcano, when there's an earthquake, 9/11, major crash in the stock market where trillions of dollars of wealth are wiped out. So even if I'm not directly affected, I feel a legitimate panic. I feel a legitimate fear because it highlights the fragility of our existence. In fact, our existence is fragile. It is tenuous. And yira can be an appropriate reaction when we realize that. But here's where the growth potential comes, or a downward spiral can set in. Realizing my existence is fragile, how do I respond to that? So there are people who undertake activities to give them a sense of security. They accumulate lots of money, they have a big house, they seek social status, public recognition, all things that enhance one's sense of security without really solidifying their existence. That can be a downward spiral, because if you're fearful of death, you're fearful of stopping to exist, more money and a bigger house and more social recognition is not going to really make a difference. The alternative is to recognize that Hashem is the source of that fragile existence, and we devote ourselves to serving Hashem to ensure that existence. This is an important step. The recognition that the source of my existence, the knowledge that Hashem holds the key to that existence, and a commitment to serve Him, to ensure the continuation of that existence. This is avoda me'ira, service of Hashem, ultimately for me, ultimately about my existence, inwardly directed. It's a high level to realize that in fact my existence is dependent on Hashem, and the things that I need come from Him, and therefore in order to get them I have to serve Him. But there's something missing. What's missing is the purpose of that existence. Does that purpose of existence go beyond my desire to exist, or is there something bigger? This brings us to avoda me'ava, the recognition of the greatness of God, purpose of existence, and this is what we're going to explore next week.